Ranjitsinhji was the icon of Indian cricket. Ranjitsinhji was born on September 10, 1872 in Sadodar, a village in the state of Nawanagar in the western Indian province of Kathiawar in a Yaduvanshi Rajput family. He was the first son of a farmer, Jiwansinhji, and one of his wives. He was first introduced to cricket aged 10 or 11. Rajitsinhji first represented the school in 1883 and was appointed captain in 1884. He maintained this position until 1888. While he may have scored centuries for the school, the cricket was not of a particularly high standard, and very different from that played in England. In March 1888, Macnaghten took Ranjitsinhji to London, with two other students who exhibited potential. One of the events to which Macnaghten took Ranjitsinhji was a cricket match between Surrey County Cricket Club and the touring Australian team. Ranjitsinhji was enthralled by the standard of cricket, and Charles Turner, an Australian known more as a bowler, scored a century in front of a large crowd. During the summer of 1890, Ranjitsinhji and Ramsinhji took a holiday in Bournemouth. In June 1891 he joined the recently reformed Cambridgeshire County Cricket Club and was successful enough in trial matches to represent the county in several games that September. Ranjitsinhji began to work with Daniel Hayward, a first-class cricketer. His main fault was a tendency to back away from the ball when facing a fast bowler, making it more likely he would be dismissed. Ranjitsinhji probably developed his leg glance with Hayward around spring 1892, for during the remainder of that year, he scored around 2,000 runs in all cricket. Ranjitsinhji made his debut for Trinity in 1892 after injury ruled out another player, and his subsequent form, including a century, kept him in the college team, achieving a batting average of 44, only Jackson averaging more. His developing friendship with Billy Murdook and C.B. Fry becoming interested in playing cricket for Sussex.His debut came in a match against the MCC. After scoring 77 not out in his first innings and then taking 6 wickets, he scored his maiden first-class century in the second. In 155 minutes, he scored 150 runs and took his team close to an improbable victory. These performances brought him into contention for a place in the England team for the first Test match, but although his form merited selection, he was not chosen by the MCC committee which chose the team. The team for the second Test was chosen by a different committee, and Ranjitsinhji was included. Ranjitsinhji made his Test debut on July 16, 1896. After a cautious 62 in his first innings, he batted again when England followed on, 181 runs behind. After the second day, he had scored 42, and on the final morning, he scored 113 runs before the lunch interval, surviving a fast, hostile spell from Jones. His final score was 154, not out. Having been named one of the Wisden Cricketers of the Year for his performances in 1896, Ranjitsinhji began the 1897 season strongly, scoring 260 for Sussex against the MCC. Ranjitsinhji was chosen to tour Australia with Andrew Stoddart's team during the winter of 1897-98. The team was defeated 4-1 by Australia, who were superior tactically and had the better players in general. Ranjitsinhji was one of the few successes on the tour and scored 1,157 runs in first-class matches at an average of 60.89. Ranjitsinhji batted towards the end of the first day and, still weak from his illness, played carefully. He was exhausted after scoring 39 not out. The next morning, as England lost wickets, he attacked the bowlers and took his score to 175. Scoring mainly from cuts and leg glances. He batted for 215 minutes and reached the highest score for England in Test matches. The record lasted for 6 years. England won the match by 9 wickets, but this was their only success of the series. In June 1899, Ranjitsinhji was appointed Sussex captain after Murdoch retired, ahead of other amateur cricketers. Ranjitsinhji continued to score heavily throughout the 1900 season. After a slow start in cold weather, in the space of 9 days, he hit scores of 97, 127, 222 and 215 not out, followed by 192 a week later 165. After a brief sequence of low scores, he scored 1,000 runs in July and maintained his form until the end of the season. In his final 19 innings, he failed to reach 40 only 3 times. He made 202 against Middlesex.Ranjitsinhji's final aggregate was 3,065 runs, the second highest total after that which he scored the previous year, at an average of 87.57. This placed him at the top of the national averages. In 1904, Ranjitsinhji led the batting averages for the fourth time, scoring 2,077 runs at 74.17. Ranjitsinhji's last first-class cricket came in 1920. Having lost an eye in a hunting accident, he played only 3 matches and found he could not focus on the ball properly. Possibly prompted by embarrassment at his performance, he later claimed his sole motivation for returning was to write a book about batting with one eye. Such a book was never published. In total, Ranjitsinhji scored 24,692 runs at an average of 56.37, the highest career average of a batsman based mainly in England until Geoffrey Boycott retired in 1986. He scored 72 hundreds. He wrote a book named The Jubilee of Cricket. He died on April 2 in 1933. After his death, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, started the Ranji Trophy in 1934, with the first fixtures taking place in 1934-35. The trophy was donated by Maharaja Bhupinder Singh of Patiala, who also inaugurated it. Today it remains a domestic first-class cricket championship played in India between different city and state sides. He will remember in